Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 5 of Gel and Tell.
Can't believe it's episode 5. I thought it was episode 4.
No, it's 5. How crazy is that?
That is pretty mad. That means we've been doing this for over a month.
Yeah, that's super cool. I'm actually really in it.
Thank you to everyone that's tuning in. We appreciate your feedback and suggestions and ideas for what we're talking about and the guests that we're bringing on. If you are listening and you want to come and join in the conversation on Gel and Tell, we're currently recruiting for our next guest. So we're looking for someone to join us in a couple of weeks' time. So if you want to talk about business, politics, the gym, or any other topics, we would love to chat to you. So drop us a message. And maybe we'll see you on a podcast soon.
Let's get into today's podcast. We are reaching a very important milestone, aren't we, G, in our business?
What one?
What do you mean?
Yeah, so
You can see we're very synced. Yeah, so we are reaching a very important milestone in the history of Gel. We are almost at 6 months of running this business, aren't we? I feel like maybe we surpassed that by a few days now.
I think we technically incorporated 6 months ago, 6 months plus minus 3 days. So the 15th of September was our registration date for the business. So yeah, we are approaching the 6-month launch marker. Congratulations to us. Our business is now half a year old, which is very exciting. But it also kind of feels like no time's passed at all.
Yeah, 100%. Feels like it's gone so quickly.
It's exciting. Before we jump into the episode, Nora, how's your week been?
My week has been great. It has gone quite quickly since we filmed the episode with Craig, but it was Gio's birthday over the weekend. So yeah, we had a lot of fun just celebrating his birthday. I went go-karts, which was quite cool. Didn't come last. So, that's what I aim when I compete at certain things that I'm not very good at. What else did I do? Just more cardio, more eating bodybuilding food, and more training, but pretty standard, I'd say. But we also made a very cool investment in our business this week, which I'm buzzing about.
I love that. That's probably the highlight of the business week, isn't it?
Yeah.
A big investment, new client sign up, client content shoot. We were in London again, which was cool. We dressed our client up as a nun with a new series that we've created with them, which has been an idea that I've actually had for this particular client for around 2 years. So to bring it to life was nothing short of magical, and it surpassed all my expectations. I'm trying to think what I did this week. Not much. Dog walks.
It was Mother's Day on Sunday.
Yeah, took mum out for lunch, saw some of the family. That was really nice. And then went for a curry on Friday night with the gym lot, and then went for a bottomless brunch on Saturday with my friend for her birthday.
Love that.
Yeah, it was quite social. I can't say I stuck to my nutrition plan last week, Nora. Fucking hell.
Or last night, apparently.
Shit, yeah, I did have. Yeah, you heard that.
I did.
No, I had the new cream egg McFlurry from McDonald's, and I have to say it did not disappoint. It was really good. Worth all 400 calories.
I'm very proud of you.
We are actually 10 days out now from, I think it's about 10 days out from High Rocks London. So
that's exciting.
Women's doubles, the Sunday. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So today's episode, we want to talk a bit about getting your first clients. So to sort of celebrate 6 months of Gel, we want to share a little bit about what we did in our first months of building this business and how we generated our first 10 clients. So, everyone online makes it sound like you need a really big audience, loads of followers, the perfect offer, everything all organized and perfect to hit your first 10K month in revenue. We had absolutely none of those, but we still managed to do this within 90 days of starting our business. So in this episode, we're going to break down exactly what we did to get our first group of clients, what actually mattered versus what we thought would matter and what surprised us, just some lessons, and hopefully make this super practical and tangible for anyone out there that is running a business, wanting some more clients, or thinking of starting a business. As we've had a few questions in the DMs lately on, I want to do this, I want to start, but where the fuck do I get my clients from? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let me ask you, Nora, when we were launching, so rewind the clock 6 months ago, we've got lots of things up and running behind the scenes. We've registered the company, we've got our logo, we're working with a couple of clients, just people that we know that, but we haven't launched, we're not live. And we go to do that first social media post to announce that we are launching a business together. What did you think was going to happen?
To be honest, I was quite optimistic in the sense that I knew that our network would support it and will get the initial like traction there, which I think happened as we thought it would. It was almost like also a bit a nice surprise. People that we don't necessarily speak to every day, show their support, share the page, and engage with it as well. I remember I was in Dubai at the time, wasn't I? I was on a trip when we did the launch because so we were both trying to manage it at different time zones as well, and like make sure that it like the time is right and like the sequence of our posts are right. I remember us like video calling and trying to get like a voiceover reel together to like announce what gel is, and it felt very, very exciting at the time. So I guess like with how we launched, I think one thing that we did apply was a bit of a warm-up phase. So which we talk about on our socials as well for business owners in general. So we started with a fresh page, didn't we? Like zero followers, which was quite scary, but we had to because, there's two of us in the business. And I think we bring a great, energy when we're together, and we wanted to showcase that and kind of build the brand and what gel is based on both of us rather than us utilizing our own individual accounts to do that. Still feel like that's the right direction. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think with any new brand or business, it needs its own entity. It's its own thing. Like it can't just be like, backpacking on something else. It definitely needed like a fresh start, a fresh page, and an audience that was invested in that. There's people that follow us that are obviously like supportive of us as individuals, but I never wanted like people to feel like they had to be engaging or seeing that content. I do sometimes feel like I share probably too much to my personal page of the business, but at the same time, like, it is what it is. It's my baby. It's our business. I want everyone to know about it. And that's kind of the point of marketing anyway. But for the gel page, 100%, I think it was the right thing to do. It's always scary starting from zero though.
Yeah.
Especially when you are someone that has worked in social media and marketing. Like, I think sometimes the thought of like, oh, well, we should have more followers or like, but when you're starting from zero, getting from 0 to 1,000 followers, that first sprint, if you will, is always the hardest part because it takes so much longer to build that momentum to then grow a page from there on out. So we always knew it wasn't going to be easy starting from a 0 page, but it also meant that we had like the opportunity to be quite creative. We're testing stuff all the time. Like, it doesn't matter. It's fun.
100%. But yeah, if we go back to that time and when we did our warm-up phase, we did a bit of like a teaser campaign, didn't we, initially? Because we did a photo shoot, which was quite fun. Shout out to Daisy for helping us with the photo shoot and getting some incredible pictures that we could use for that launch. But yeah, we did the photo shoot and we used the photo shoot content to then tease that something's coming. We went for like business, like girl boss vibes. It was quite, very nice vibes, to be fair, looking back at it. And we then started like hinting, but wasn't quite, telling people what gel actually was. We utilized our personal pages quite a lot to bring traction to the main page. And I think the initial people that came onto the page were family and friends. And I think anyone who's building a business should expect their family and friends to be the first people that potentially not just support, but buy as well.
Yeah.
And from that, we then did the official launch reel, which went so well. And that's where we got our first inbound inquiries, didn't we? Where we had a couple of inbound inquiries from our network, which again shows, I think one of the biggest things starting a business is like, don't underestimate your network. Because strangers will buy eventually, but the first people that will support the business and will buy from you would be people that already trust you. And that's within your friends and family.
Absolutely. We hear this a lot as like an objection from clients that we work with or coaches, and they say, oh yeah, but they wouldn't buy from me because they're my friend or they know me, they're not going to want this. And I'm like, if anything, they should want it more.
Yeah.
Did you see what I shared the other day where I was like, stop asking your friends for freebies, try and get free shit from strangers instead? I think it was a Hormozy post, and it was like basically saying like, support your friends' businesses, pay them full whack, stop asking them for discounts.
Yeah.
And I think it's so true. If you do support someone and you value them and you can see that they're good at what they do, why would you go to a stranger over someone that you already like and know? It must be so much more fun to work with a friend than some random person. So yeah, I'm a huge advocate for that. And I'm super grateful to our friends and family that supported us from the off. When we had, between us, we've got a lot of case studies of businesses that we've grown over the last 6 years. But what we didn't have as Gel was case studies, because Gel was brand new. Gel, between the two of us, we've also worked together on a lot of businesses. So people knew that we could get results, but they didn't know that the Gel offering
brand, yeah,
was going to get them the results. So the fact that they trusted in us as people and, were willing to pay us was, so special. And I think that was a real like cornerstone moment for me of just like, oh my God, it's real. Like it's happening. We're building something. I think it could be tempting at the start to work for free. I think there was a moment where we spoke about it. Should we do some like pro bono work? Should we be just like getting some people in for free? And I'm really glad that we didn't do that. I do think in some businesses you could do that, and it might be okay to do that for the right, if you really have zero results so far and you want to practice. But like we had half a decade of results to show for what the work we do, and it would have commercially not made any sense for us to have worked for free when we were already working another job alongside this. And for context, we were both working full-time whilst building this at the beginning. So we didn't have the luxury of time and space to do that kind of free extra work. So we had to charge from the off.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's spot on what you said about like Gel as a brand and as an entity by itself didn't have the social proof, but it shows how the saying that we always say is like people buy from people. It's not the brand, it's not your fancy logo, it's not getting your brand colors right that's gonna get people buying. It is the people behind the brand. And we still see it to this day. We get people that we possibly helped 4 or 5 years ago that we've not spoken to since, inquiring and saying, guys, I need your help, because they had that great experience back then and they just trust the person. And it's just so fulfilling and very special.
We love that.
But yeah, I think that was the biggest thing for us, is like at the start when you're launching, tease it. Don't just go out and say, I'm doing this. Like, get people curious a bit, build up the initial audience by utilizing your personal network and telling people about it. It is okay to ask for help when you're starting a new business. And I think we were quite open about this, going into it. I think we both were like, yeah, I will share it on my personal page and I will get people like, asking for their help to share it with their network, because we knew of the impact that we could have in businesses. We just needed the door to get these talk to these businesses. And I think that's worked in our favors, that we did live with that curiosity, then did this big reveal and utilize that network to get them in.
Yeah. Which I think we did a really good job of on Instagram specifically. I do think that one thing that is kind of amazing that we've done, and I don't know if I'd advocate for this for a business, like we're literally business to business and we've not used LinkedIn, but we've been hitting 10K months for 6 months. Haven't used LinkedIn once. But I think, Instagram's amazing and it can be really underestimated for like business to business offerings, which we obviously love it and we use it a lot. But we've utilized our personal networks and our Instagram networks, but we haven't actually tapped into our LinkedIn networks and professional networks from there at all. So that's something that we do probably need to look at this year, but reaching out to people. So I think that, yes, we got inbounds, but we were also doing some outbound work too. And like to sit back and wait for people to just come to you when you're starting a business is just not going to get you where you need to get to. So like being really proactive and starting conversations, picking up the phone, talking to people when you're out and about. Like I think I've got us 2 clients from the pub.
Yeah.
Essentially like having genuine conversations and taking an interest in the kind of work that other people do, and then naturally talking about what you do can lead to business. Okay, so like if like someone was like, okay, Nora, I'm starting my business from scratch. What's one thing you would say, don't fucking do this? Don't do it.
I would say don't spend days, working on your brand, because that's not going to get you clients. That's one big thing.
I do think you're right though. I think wasting time on branding and logo at the start isn't a good use of time. I think we wasted a lot of time on diagrams. Do you remember Diagram Alley?
Yeah, but I do think that gave us a bit of like clarity on what does our workflow look like. And like, I don't think that was a complete waste of time. We thought we would use them with clients. We didn't use them with clients.
No.
I do think we both get hyper fixated on things that are potentially not very useful for the business at times. So I feel like we've gotten better with that.
Yeah, we have. That was so funny. We must have spent about 48 hours looking at
Oh,
work.
and we were staying up late as well for them. And we're like, these diagrams would change our life. What were we thinking?
They were literally like flow charts, and then like you were getting so annoyed at me when I was putting the wrong box shape on the thing, and you were like actually getting like so irritated. You'd be like, "Gee, if you're gonna put the circle there, just tell me and I'll do it for you." And I'd be like, "Okay, I'm just trying to add the steps into the workflow," and you'd be like, "Not the diamond." I was like, "Jesus Christ, it's a trapezium." It was so funny.
I was just like, my OCD got very triggered, and I was like, please do not make me feel uncomfortable. I do not like it's the wrong shape. Change it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember vividly. And then we did finish them though.
Do you want to talk about your specific things that you do during the day that we just need to
I don't know what I
work
do.
through?
I think I'm quite like good. Right, what's next? The unhinged things we've seen business owners do to get clients. What unhinged things have we seen across the years other business owners doing to get clients or signups? What's the weirdest things you've ever seen? The worst?
For me, it's like cold emailing through AI random people. Yeah, that is not it for me. That is not a marketing strategy. I am sorry, but that is just pure annoying. Like, if anyone emails me cold when I've never spoken to them, they go in my spam and I actually block that email as well, because
Yeah.
it's just not a vibe. Like, do not, where did you get my email in the first place? That's what I'm thinking.
People sell them, don't they? They sell databases. We know some business owners that buy database emails and then cold outbound them. Yeah, I really also don't like that. And I've never once responded to one because when I was head of marketing, I would get them multiple a day in that inbox. And I'd always think, where have you got my email address from? I never gave it to you. It's very, very strange. What other things have we seen? Oh, this is it. Making fake Instagram pages of people that are not real. Or I remember people making Instagram pages of me and messaging coaches as me when it wasn't me, trying to get them to sign up for business coaching. I'm sorry, that is not acceptable.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's unhinged.
Yeah, it is.
What else have we seen?
Booking into someone's calendar to sell them their thing.
Bad. Oh my God, I've got another one. Creating a job ad for personal trainers saying that there's a job available in a gym and then jumping on a call to sell them business coaching. But that poor personal trainer thought
disgusting. That's
they were going to get a job.
unethical.
Yeah, I saw that firsthand. Disgusting. And apparently that's called growth hacking. I call that gross hacking. Personally, someone got hired to do that. I'm sorry, like, and if you're listening to this, like, I really don't mean to offend you, but like, no,
It's just not a vibe. What happened to just being a nice human being that wants to help people, and maybe you get clients because your work is actually good?
Well, for the right businesses, that strategy works. And I think when that's not working, people get impatient and then they move to tactics because they're expecting a magic bullet, which is often why they end up like investing in programs of people that do these tactics. So one thing that I would say on this is like, if you're going to invest in a mentor, a program, a course, or whatever, like think about how that entity has onboarded or got you as a lead. So like if you've been reached out to cold, or you've been sent one of these like AI mass emails, or you've gone through a fake job advertisement, those kind of tactics and methods are going to be exactly what they recommend to you. So if you don't like how you've been onboarded, then don't sign up with that company, because it's going to be a very similar thing that they're going to get you to do, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So we don't like that. We don't like unethical, do we?
No, it's not our vibe.
Main things we've spoken about then. So warming up before you launch, making sure that you've got like clarity before you go in, not wasting too much time on your logo, networking, talking to your people that you know, friends, family. What else did we do? Posting every day. We've posted every day since what, September, October?
Yeah. And that I think has helped massively. Yeah, just on that awareness piece. You don't have to go viral. You just have to like show up and like get people to see you, and then get people to always think of you when they think of what you do, and they think of that particular topic that you specialize in.
Mhm.
You should be the first person that comes to mind. And that happens with getting content out there. It doesn't have to be the perfect content. And we've followed that even when it was uncomfortable to do so. And there were times where we were like, oh, should we
Mm.
post this today? And then we did. And, it got more eyes on our page and it got more people interested in what we do.
Exactly. And then when people are engaging with your content, talking to them and having conversations and using your stories and actually engaging with your community, not just having them as like people that look at stuff, having them as people that feel involved with the brand, and that like, can ask questions and have chats. We've got some almost like pen pals now on our page, haven't we, that we've like made like connections with. And yeah, they're not clients yet, maybe they will be down the line, maybe they never will be, but they're people that we could potentially collaborate with, chat to, meet. Like it's just nice to connect with other people on social media, because it's called social media for a reason. So I think that's one thing that we've done particularly well. We've got loads of work to do. We've got LinkedIn to leverage, we've got email marketing to leverage, we're looking at paid advertising. We've built our business to where it is with literally just organic marketing and referral marketing, clients recommending other clients, us having conversations with our network. And I think the key thing is it doesn't have to be complicated. It's not easy, it does take hard work, but the actual processes are relatively simple if you stick to them consistently. And that's what we teach our clients too. So if you've been listening and you're thinking, oh, I would love to start my business, I'd love to get some clients, but I just need a helping hand, then drop us a message. We would love to speak to you, as that is exactly what we do at Gel.
100%. And if you enjoy these episodes, make sure that you stay tuned for the next one. But also, guys, rate the podcast. We're up to now 7 ratings of 5 stars on Spotify, which I'm quite proud of.
Very good. But make sure you rate it 5 stars, please. Don't put under. If you're going to rate it, only 5 stars, or don't rate it at all.
If you rate it under 5 stars, you're mean.
And hit subscribe.
Okay, bye.
See you soon. Bye.